Hey everyone, it's Leanie. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another reaction video and we are going to be watching a video from Gray Still Plays and it is called I Use Science to Engineer Earth from Scratch. This just blows my mind just reading the title. I've always had thoughts, you know, what came first? Like, how was the Earth created? How is it that this one planet has life and is just perfectly situated in space to allow for us to be here today? I cannot wait to see this. So let's get right into it. Make sure to go show them some love. And without further ado, let's watch it.
All right, we're checking out the only game where you can effectively become the worst parent in the entire universe.
What?
It's Universe Sandbox. Normally, I would say
I
this
think
is
my
the
son
sun.
used to play
It
this.
is not. This is I Am Your Father. It is much smaller than the sun. And its job today is to find out if it can make a totally lifelike Earth. I shouldn't really say lifelike. I should say life-producing. You can see that I Am Your Father keeps vomiting up massive solar flares.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be fine. There's one right there. We caught it mid-vomit. Now, in order to start this, we need planetary
Massive
bodies with which to come together and create the vast mineral compositions that you need for an Earth. That is, in fact, what we're doing today. We are going to make an Earth. It might not be exactly like Earth. It'll be like Earth's dollar store twin. Now, in order to make an Earth, we are starting things in the only way that makes sense for such things: violence. I have created over 100 different asteroids, and they will fight to the death to create one winner Earth asteroid. I'm gonna go ahead and just let things go around here. Now, eventually the orbits will, kind of start to interfere with one another. And like the freeway, they're just going to start randomly smashing into one another. Just random asteroids. Lots and lots of random asteroids. More.
Daddy, chill.
All right, now there's a few hundred there. I'm gonna go ahead and get this going. I wanted to show you too. This is what it looks like
that is
inside of the highway of death. Look at how many different celestial bodies are flying past. It's like interstellar dodgeball.
They're all like on different levels, and they're all
there it is. Notice it
on a
just
different
exploding
orbit.
wildly.
Like some are smaller circles, some are bigger.
In a sea of, I don't know what that. This is just the lines of orbit, I guess. So the idea is that as these things start to impact one another, one of them will become a much larger body of mass and will begin to suck up all of the extra like solar goo that's just kind of laying around, and that will create a very large radius.
Rock.
You can see one of them is already much larger than the other. Okay, someone just shot out of the. One of the asteroids just shot out of nowhere. Just got shotgunned into the. Whoa!
Another one.
We've got a few more that are flying out into the nether realm.
Why is that one's orbit changing so much? Look at that.
So far. Like I said, someone is going to end up being the winner. I just don't know who.
How many years has passed?
Big thing over here. Look at the formation of this thing. It looks kind of cool. This is the original name of it, and it is. It's actually 1/2 the radius of Earth right now. I'm gonna let it suck up a little bit more stuff. I really have no idea if the elements that are crashing into that thing are going to be good enough for Earth, but we'll find out.
This is kind of
one glowing
mind-boggling to think
in the middle
about.
Of all of this. I think this was
how
our original
our planets came
that
about.
ended up getting pretty big. Yeah, it's almost the same radius of Earth, but it's kind of slurped up enough stuff to the point where it's lost a lot of its like weird topography. It looks very smooth now. Like, this is good. We're at a good spot right now. You know, the only problem is the average temperature of this place is 1,300 degrees Celsius. It probably needs to go and cool off.
Yeah, it needs to get a little further from the sun.
I'm kind of curious what the actual potential for life is right now. It's 0, probably because there's no water on it. I will name you Only Child. Okay, so now we can start back again with I Am Your Father, and then we can go ahead and add the Only Child. All right, the Only Child is now firmly in the habitable zone.
Okay.
Let him just kind of orbit for a little bit. This is actually kind of a cool orbit because the Only Child is in the habitable zone part-time, and then it's kind of in the blue area. So I'm not really sure if everyone's going to constantly freeze or if half of the planet will just become Canada for, you know, like part of the year. I love how it changes, like the habitable zone changes. Like if you click on the sun, it's like it's over here. If you click on the planet, it's like, no, it's not. We're just going to take the sun's word for it, though.
Okay.
Now, we're going to have to add water to this thing. The only way that you can add water to a planet planet is just like I mentioned before,
Ice.
obviously through violence. Let's see
And
here. What
melting.
do we got? 5 kilometers, okay. 10 meters, not big enough. 13 kilometers. Gotta go ahead and launch
So
this.
what do you-
There we go. This is
what do
actually
you-
made
how do you
out
get
of
water on
silicon
there?
water, baby. Go!
Just shoot it at it?
Should be heading on a direct collision course for Only Child. We're just going to follow along as it begins and ends. Obviously, we're going to need a lot more water than that. So
what? And that's how water forms on it? Oh my
It is
gosh, it's
making water.
actually
That's
working.
kind of cool. I'm gonna have like a perfect belt line of water. Let's see what the composition of Only Child is right now. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's got some water. That's not too
Okay.
bad. Ooh, life likelihood. We got our first little bit of percentages. Got
Barely.
like 4,600 centimeters of water potential depth. In case you're wondering how much that is, it's 46 meters. That's not bad.
That's-
Obviously,
okay.
it's gonna need more.
Yeah.
I'll spread it around a little bit. What I'm actually gonna do, because we're not getting enough water quick enough for my liking, is I'm gonna
Okay.
take this and I'm gonna make it, let's see here. Let's make it, yeah, like that big. That should do
Holy,
nicely.
that's a lot.
I'm gonna go ahead and slow things down for this. I don't know why, but there is literally like a black Dragon Ball Z anime aura surrounding this thing as it comes to impact the Only Child, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and let that happen. Oh, yes! Say hello to atmospheric
Wow.
pressure, baby! That looks awesome. That looks absolutely awesome.
And it looks
I'm
like
a
there's
big fan
clouds.
of the way that this planet is currently coming together. Look at the anguish that has happened. Look at the incredible flames. But more
Yeah.
importantly, look at the water amount. Life likelihood shot way up. Now, obviously,
Okay.
things are getting really hot, so it's gonna have to get back down to normal before it goes back up. Go ahead and speed things along here. Let it
Okay.
go.
Oh
Let it-
my gosh.
Ooh.
It's kind of looking
Okay,
like
yeah, as it
Earth.
cools down, it's starting to look pretty legit. All right, let me go ahead and pull on
Wow.
back here.
But look how
There
many
we
years.
go.
164
I have created the Eye of
years.
Sauron. I'm not kidding. This is a
Okay,
planet
Eye
that
of
is
Sauron.
looking at you very intently. That's pretty cool, though. It does have an actual atmosphere now. Not only does it have an atmosphere, it has cloud cover.
Yeah.
What's the life potential?
noticed
Ooh,
the
wow,
clouds.
22.4%. Now, it
That's
does
good.
need a little bit of a stronger atmosphere because the average temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. It is going down. It is continuing to go down. You're going to notice it was at 40.7, 39, 38. So maybe this is just a
Okay.
matter of letting more time go by. 33. Now we're getting into Floridian areas. Okay. Yes, 30. 29.
Florida is hot and
Okay,
humid.
now the people in Florida are actually not sweating to death when they walk outside for 10 seconds. Oh yeah, this is happening right now. Again, it's taken 172 years,
Yeah.
but it's totally working. 25.5.
No, for sure
Nice.
it's
Now, one of the
working.
things that we're going to need to do is make sure that there's enough nitrogen and oxygen. How do you get
Okay.
nitrogen and oxygen onto a planet, you ask? You urinate it on there. I'm not kidding. Nitrogen.
what?
And there we go. Now we're going to throw some oxygen in there. All right, now the atmospheric density is kind of starting to get into a normal area at this point. I've given my planet sunglasses.
This guy is smart
That's actually
because
what
he
I've
knows
given it.
what
That is unbelievably strange
is
to look at. It's kind of
normal
like an
area.
alien planet. Well, there we
kinda
go.
looks
The
like
atmosphere
eyeballs.
is starting to spread throughout the
Wow.
planet now. It was all just weirdly concentrated in like one single area. Wow. The atmosphere got us up now to 36.3%.
That is
we are going to have to
getting
add
better.
more water because there's only one lake and
Yeah, it kinda
it's
looks like
218
Jupiter's big
kilometers
storm
deep
spot.
and there's really no water anywhere else. There are places with 7,600 meters of ice though. That's fine
Okay.
though. We can tinkle a little bit of water on there. Here, are you ready? Here, just kind of shoot a bunch of water. How's that taste? Is that good? You can actually see the planet like sweating from the water, kind of like getting wet. You see it?
Yeah.
See it kind of like dripping around as we add it. All right, let's go up. You know, the only thing there we go. I was gonna say the only thing you really need is just more zeros. Put a little bit on the poles there. There we go. Yeah.
on the poles.
A little on the bottom, like so. Perfect.
Spread the
now
wealth.
my planet looks like a sumo wrestler. All right, gonna go ahead and let time pass here so that the water goes ahead and kind of like sits where it's gonna go. I'm not exactly sure how, but now there's like an onyx black band surrounding
why did
the
it turn
planet.
black?
This is probably one of the coolest planets in the solar system. Well, it's the only planet in the solar system, but it is really cool.
At least this one.
We're still looming around 34.4% life likelihood. 37.9. Add a little more nitrogen.
Do we have any
39.
land
Oh,
on there, or like most of it is land?
Delicate balance of atmospheric anguish that you have to give people. Oh, the surface gravity is a very temperate 6.14 meters per second squared. That's like, what is that, like 2/3 of Earth? So that's nice.
Almost
now
there.
that the atmosphere and
Wow,
water
look at it
has
now.
actually, like, you know, what is this, 900 years later,
975
properly
years.
spread, we have a legitimate looking planet. Like, it has everything. It is covered in water. It has frozen poles.
Wow.
The water is evenly spread. I mean, kind of.
It looks like
Look
Earth.
at the pock marks on this place. Gas pressure is pretty nice. Liquid depth goes all over the place. But again, if you travel in the middle of the planet, it's right around 11 kilometers deep. Surface temperature is great. You gotta kind of live like right up here. Now, what is the one thing that the planet is missing that I think will obviously give us the rest of our life likelihood percentage? It is an enormous impact from something that can become its moon. Obviously. Let's see here. What do I want to launch at it? We're going to need something to introduce all kinds of new elements and stuff. Yeah, Mars, you don't get enough love. You get to get launched at the planet. How's that make you feel? Mars
Okay,
is like,
Mars.
not great. Listen, this is for the betterment of all mankind. Now, this may look
wow,
like it's
it looks-
going to end everything, but don't you worry. Sure as the planet is randomly spewing odd stuff all over from the
Are they
poles,
gonna collide?
this impact is unbelievably important. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Look at that right there.
Oh
Color,
my gosh.
depth, anguish. Now, once again, we're going to have to, like, you know, pass by many, 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 many years.
Okay.
One of these fragments will stabilize. All right, let's just keep rolling here.
And turn into our
Faster.
moon?
Okay, there we go. The atmosphere is starting to chill out. You can see the
Oh
tops
my
and the bottoms
gosh.
of the planet is starting to show itself. You gotta let time go by here. The average temperature isn't enough yet. I'm gonna throw a little magnetic field in there. There we go.
3 hours later.
The temperature of the planet right now is looking really legit. Like, it's 22 degrees Celsius right now. If we go
Okay.
over to composition, we're at 90.6% Earth similarity. And actually,
is almost
if we
there.
zoom out, we did end up getting one tiny fragment that is
that our
managing
moon?
to just kind of follow the only child around. It is unbelievably small. The radius is only 78 kilometers.
That's
so it
okay.
basically does nothing. I'm kind of curious what happens if I make this moon size. I don't know if it will destroy the planet or not, but honestly, there's only one way to find out. Okay, just kind of start doing a little bit of that. There we go.
I wonder
What could
how big
possibly go
the
wrong?
moon is.
200 kilometers, 300 kilometers. Let's do radius of the moon. Where's that at? There it
Moon
is.
radius,
Oh, wow, it's
yeah.
already 2/10 of the radius of the moon. Isn't that nice? Just gonna keep this moving. Now, the only child isn't very large, so I'm only gonna have this, you know, a certain size that's somewhat similar to how big the only child is. And there we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
that looks
I'm gonna call this
good.
the stepchild. I'm gonna go ahead and let time go by here. Like how there's one random dent in the forehead of my planet. It's like way up here. There's also this odd black spot on the planet. I don't know what that is, but yeah, there's like
Couple
one
splotches.
weird dent way up here. I think that's was that like ice on the
that the
top of the
impact
mountains?
zone?
Yeah, it is. This one area, this
Oh.
might be where Mars impacted,
Okay.
is 8.2 kilometers tall in elevation compared to
Oh.
everything else. You can
Wow.
actually see it like lifting off of the planet
Yeah.
from here. And as the only child rotates, you can go ahead and land upon the surface in order to look at its moon, travel across the sky, along with the clouds. There it
Clouds
is.
are crazy.
Stepchild. Setting. Setting in the horizon. And as the sun rises, yeah, we chose violence
That
and
was
recreated the Earth
amazing.
with a 90-something% accuracy rating. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode of Universe Sandbox. Till next time, stay foxy and much love.
That's so cool. That person is so smart. Make sure to go show Gray Still Plays some love. Without their video, mine would not be possible. And if you like this content, give me a like and a follow or subscribe, whatever you want to call it. I'll see you guys later.